The wind howled across the jagged peaks of Xylos-7. It was a symphony of metallic shrieks. Pulverized dust whispered against obsidian rock formations that clawed at the sky. Upon the highest precipice stood Commander Vex, a solitary figure encased in her bio-integrated suit. The perpetual twilight of this alien world cast long, dancing shadows. They seemed to writhe with a life of their own. Her very presence was a challenge to the untamed wilderness stretching out before her. Every gust of wind, every shift in the strange, amber-hued light was a variable she had to account for. A potential threat in a world that had yet to reveal its true nature to the explorers who dared to chart its surface. She was a planetary scout for the Interstellar Federation, a lone wolf sent to the farthest reaches of the universe, a universe teeming with unknowns, dangers that defied human comprehension. Her mission was to be the first set of eyes, the first boots on the ground, the first to face whatever lurked in the shadows of new worlds. Xylos-7 had initially appeared promising on the long-range scans. It was a planet rich in exotic minerals and potential energy sources that could power entire star systems. But the initial orbital surveys had also picked up disturbing anomalies, massive and shifting energy signatures, hinting at something far more complex than simple geology. The golden tendrils of her suit, which usually maintained a subtle, low-energy hum, now flared with a brighter intensity. Her enhanced vision, a cascade of data overlays and hyperspectral imaging cut through the gloom with clinical precision. It mapped the treacherous terrain, highlighting unstable ground and potential ambush points with cold, calculated efficiency. She was not just observing this world, she was dissecting it, layer by layer, searching for the source of its dangerous secrets. Each new reading confirmed her growing suspicion. This planet was not empty, it was waiting. The suit was less a piece of equipment and more a second, superior anatomy grafted onto her own. A full-body view would reveal a masterpiece of biomechanical engineering, a total physical transformation that turned its wearer into a living weapon. It followed the natural musculature of her body with terrifying precision. But where skin should be, there was a carbonized, chitinous shell. Visible beneath the shell were what appeared to be muscle bundles. Not her own muscles, but thick, dark fibers of synthetic sinew. Her legs, elongated and heavily armored, an inhuman silhouette. Knees and ankles reinforced with gleaming golden filigree plating. These housed microservos and energy conduits. Feet structured almost digitigrade, walking on the balls of her feet, enabling bursts of speed and silent feline movement. She was no longer just Commander Vex. She was an extension of the suit, a new form of life. At the center of this biomechanical marvel was the torso core. A thick, layered chest plate shielded the biological engine within. A central seam ran down the middle, and it would pulse with a soft, internal light, as if the suit itself was breathing. There was a beautiful, eerie contrast in the suit's materials. The matte charcoal chitinous shell looked cutting-edge and terrifyingly alive. The burnished gold armor sections looked ancient, almost like unearthed artifacts. The tendrils from her portrait were revealed, a flowing, energy-based mantle. The golden filaments contained streams of plasma, constantly shifting and moving like a lion's mane. Faced with a threat, they flared outward, glowing brightly. It served as a multi-spectrum radar system, letting Vex feel her environment in 360 degrees. Emitting and receiving electromagnetic waves, the tendrils could detect movement, energy signatures, and structural weaknesses with precision beyond sight. The integration of the suit went deeper than bone and muscle. It burrowed directly into her nervous system, creating a constant, overwhelming symphony of sensory input. Her vision was a layered reality. A tremor wasn't just a vibration, it was a seismic readout telling her direction, magnitude, and likely source. Beat. Vex's hand clenches into a fist, the synthetic sinew under the chitinous shell bulging as the suit's override protocol activates in response to a sudden threat. During these moments, the line between host and symbiote blurred. The suit was no longer a tool, it was the dominant partner. Her consciousness was just along for the ride, a ghost in her own machine. The anomalies picked up by the initial orbital scans were now becoming terrifyingly real. Her suit's long-range sensors registered massive, shifting energy signatures that moved with a purpose that defied geological explanation. The tension in the air was becoming a physical presence. The glowing spores in the air began to swirl faster, their amber light intensifying. The rhythmic tremor she had felt earlier was growing stronger. The golden tendrils of her mantle flared, no longer pulsing gently, but whipping through the air like agitated serpents.
Lithivore Behemoth confirmed. Engaging hostile entity. Recommending a full planetary lockdown until further assessment.
From the depths of a chasm that scarred the planet's surface, a colossal form began to emerge. It was a creature of living rock and molten core, a Lithivore Behemoth. Its eyes, twin fiery pits, fixed on Vex with predatory intent. The sheer, casual power of the creature was absolute. It was a force of nature, an extinction-level event given monstrous form. Vex stood her ground, a solitary point of defiance against the approaching apocalypse. The time for assessment was over. The battle for survival had begun. The behemoth roared, a sound that ripped through the very fabric of the atmosphere, and charged. Vex didn't flinch. Her suit, a second skin of advanced biomechanics, surged with power. The dark chitinous plating shimmered as her muscles, amplified by the suit, tensed. She moved with impossible speed, dodging a massive claw that could have crushed a starship. Her suit's arm-mounted cannon whirred to life, a focused beam of plasma lashing out. It struck the behemoth's shoulder, and fragments of rock exploded, revealing pulsing magma beneath. The creature roared in pain and swung its tail, a wrecking ball of hardened earth and molten stone. Vex leaped, the golden tendrils flaring, using them as a burst of propulsion that sent her soaring over the creature's head. Landing lightly on its back, she plunged a specialized energy blade into a fissure in its armor. The behemoth bucked and thrashed, attempting to dislodge her. The ground fractured under its immense power, and volcanic geysers erupted around them. Vex clung on, her suit automatically adjusting grip and dampening the vibrations. She located a particularly bright vein of magma, indicating a weak point in its organic mineral structure.
It's a thermal core. Its lifeblood is molten rock.
With a final, desperate surge of power from her suit, Vex activated a focused sonic pulse generator embedded in her gauntlet. The high-frequency waves targeted the weak point, causing the magma vein to expand rapidly, threatening to burst. The behemoth shrieked, a sound of agony and fury, as cracks spiderwebbed across its massive body. It tried one last desperate swipe, but Vex, anticipating the move, launched herself clear. The Lithivore behemoth convulsed violently, its internal magma chambers erupting in a dazzling, fiery spectacle. It slumped to the ground, a mountain of cooling rock and fading embers. Vex landed, her suit humming, the golden tendrils still flaring, reflecting the last dying glows of the creature. She stood amidst the devastation, the victor.
Hostile eliminated. Xylos-7 contains indigenous life forms of extreme hostility. Further exploration requires heavily armored units and advanced tactical support. Awaiting orders, Federation.
She looked out at the alien landscape, a new threat neutralized, but countless more awaiting discovery. The report she had sent to the Federation was already obsolete. The threat was not a single entity, but a planetary-scale ecology of hostile, geological life. The next wave was coming, and she, Commander Vex, a perfect fusion of woman and machine, was ready for them all.